Thank you, everybody. Appreciate that. Let me call up our panelists. I didn't actually see where they sat down, so if Patrick Coffin can come up, and Dr. Jennifer Robeck-Morse, and Janet Smith. Dr. Smith is here somewhere, I believe, as far as I know. So Christopher West actually texted me. He just texted me. He's asleep. he flew in. He would be here, except he's feeling terrible, and he's the first talk tomorrow morning. He's like, I need to give people the best talk I can in the morning. So he sends his apologies. He will be here. We can catch him in the morning and ask him about the movie. Frankly, I'm not sure that he's seen it, so you give him a good review tomorrow. Also, as they're settling in, I do want to give a shout out. That last song is part of a whole soundtrack and a full-length song performed by, I just think, two musical geniuses, and Jacob Boyd is somewhere. Where's Jacob? And Avery Robitaille. Jacob is the composer, and Avery is the singer. Jacob Boyd composed that whole, every bit of music you found there, and him and Avery sang that song. You can actually get the whole soundtrack, go to unprotectedmovie.com. All right, I'm going to move over this way, and I will sit here. Have we arranged something, Janet? We got this figured out. I just want to ask each of the panelists real quick, and then we have a mic here. If you have a question for any of these fine people, I'll ask you to queue up right here, and we'll have them say a few words, and then if you have a question for them, you can ask it at that microphone right there. And if we don't have any questions, we'll move on. Let's start at the end. Mr. Patrick Coffin. What do you hope people take away from the film? And had you even seen it? Maybe that was the first time you'd seen it.
No, I have not seen it, and I'm humbled to be part of such a stellar lineup of super brains, including, let me just give a quick shout out to next week's guest on the Patrick Coffin Show. She's sitting right there, Janet Smith, who loved Humana Vitae before loving Humana Vitae was cool.
I remember in Toronto, there, you can hear me now at the back, walking into the Daughters of St. Paul Catholic bookstore on Dufferin Street in Toronto, and I came across a book I'd never heard of her, never heard of the title, but it was called Humana Vitae, A Generation Later. And that was my first experience of being hooked on the deeper levels of the writing of, the context of, and the arguments of Humana Vitae. So it's just an honor to be here with one of my heroes, Janet Smith. So. Christopher West is this week's guest on the show. I'd like to know how Christopher has mastered the art of texting while sleeping. That would be a really profitable
I explained to him, I said, listen, we've got other people, Dr. Morse including, that came here from the East Coast, and they made it. They're awake, so...
We'll torment Christopher later. Also, Dr. Jennifer Robeck-Morse's new book, The Sexual State, which I was thrilled to endorse, is coming out in a couple of weeks. This is really the big picture of how we got here, what happened pre-1960s, who these people were by name, who were the organizations that put money to throw up against the one organization that everybody agreed is public enemy number one, and that's the Catholic Church. So that's Sexual State. So I want to plug as many guests as I can here. I am a little bit bitter, though, Don. I was kind of hurt emotionally that I didn't get a nice table with the flower. But Dr. Smith did. I don't know. I mean, I forgive you because I'm a Christian, but it kind of hurt.
You probably provided it yourself,
Oh, maybe she did. Okay.
That's right. Thank you, Patrick.
So the takeaway.
Oh, sure, yeah, go
I helped you in what way, Don? I hope this film, Unprotected, gets into the hands of as many people under the age of 30 as possible. What'd you think of the film? Awesome. There's no whiff of Bible or catechism thumping. There's no finger pointing. It's personal stories, social data, and really simple arguments. And I think it's going to be something that'll work at the parish level, conference level, in people's living rooms. What an amazing first or second date movie to bring along to Mr. and Mrs. Right? This is like establishing what your life priorities are. I thought it was very, very well done. So, yeah, there's a weed out process, right?
All right, well, cool. Thank you, Patrick. Let's pass it to Dr. Jennifer Robeck-Morse.
Okay. Well, Patrick, thank you for plugging my book. I want to tell you, out there in the table, Don has kindly given us space to all of us peddle our wares. And I did bring a little order card. If you want to pre-order the book, it will be available not until, I think, the 26th of August. But you can fill out the card. There's a price on there, and I'm selling at a special price today, $25. Just put the money in the envelope and fill it out, and I'll mail you the book when it comes. So, and then we have a newsletter. I know some of you guys have been on my newsletter list for a long time because people have been telling me about it. Oh, it's Wednesday. It comes out every Wednesday. So that's cool. I have it here, and I'll have it out at the table. And then the other thing I wanted to show people, I brought some of these pamphlets that we developed. One is called "Do You Know a Survivor of the Sexual Revolution?" And we at the Ruth Institute kind of developed the idea of 12 survivors of the sexual revolution, including the heartbroken career woman and children of divorce and things like that. And then this little pamphlet was our attempt to put some numbers on that. How many people are we talking about? And you know, when you really add it up, pro-life people are used to counting up the number of abortions, you know, the dead babies. But if you look at the number of people who have lost their parents due to divorce, or single parents, children of single parents who have maybe never even known one of their parents, there are a lot of casualties to the sexual revolution. And if you stack it up against something like Nazism or communism, you know, it's right up there. It's right up there in terms of dead and wounded. So I'm grateful that Don has put this film together, brought together a lot of good people. I hadn't seen it either. I want to just mention to you another way to use it. I think we all know Jennifer Lahl. A lot of us know Jennifer Lahl. She has done pioneering work on surrogacy and donor conception. And she has made films, short films, and she takes them to campuses and shows them on the campus and then has a discussion afterwards. So that's another use for the film that you guys can think about if you have a local university or Newman Center or anything like that. Some of you may be involved in campus ministry. A film is a great way to get a conversation going rather than a talking head or a lecture or something like that. So I would suggest you really think about that. And if you can, if you do it in Orange County, maybe Patrick would go and talk to people or, whatever. If you have a live person, to back up the message of the movie, then that makes it fun. And the students will like that and stuff like that. So that's what I would commend to you about another way that you could use this film.
Janet Smith, your own special microphone for you.
Patrick doesn't have a mic.
I forgive you for that.
Is this on?
From my
Yes.
heart.
Now he has
I'm
a mic.
self-donating to Dr.
You can
Rebecca.
share. You know how to share. That's good. I loved it because I had the last word. And I just thought, wow, thank you. That was so cool. Oh my gosh, it was so cool. I don't have much else to say. I'm just thinking about how cool that was. The other thing that was cool is really, I knew most of these people. There were very few people I didn't know. I mean, certainly I knew and I don't know Helen Gurley Brown, but I recognized everybody. So I've been around forever. That's one thing. It confirmed that. I've been thinking that for a long time. And then I just thought about all these people that I get to meet when I'm out on the circuit, and they're just extraordinary. And they're so articulate, and they're just amazing. And so it just made me think, how wonderful. And you captured all of that on this. So you've got all this great stable of people who have all this wisdom, and they're very fetching people. I know all of them, and you all want to know them because they just draw you in. You say, that's a very attractive, warm, loving person. And I know them. So it was a very wonderful experience for me to watch it, and I think it will do great good. I think it's the sort of thing that again, our culture has tried to tell a very different narrative, and this tells the truth in a very beautiful way. The music is good, the photography is fantastic. And I think young people, God did make our hearts to vibrate to the truth. So it tells the truth. And so when young people watch it, their defenses are not going to be there. And they're just going to be drawn into it. And then, especially teenagers, they love to know what other people don't know. And they are going to know what other people don't know. And they're going to start wanting their friends to watch it because they saw it first. And now they know it, and they're going to show it to other people. So I'm excited about that it seems to me that it, in a very friendly way, it delivers a lot of important information. So I commend you for what you've done.
Appreciate that, Janet. And as for me, I mean, I hope you take away that the beauty is the way to bring truth to people, and beautiful people a beautiful story, beautiful art, beautiful music. I mean, that's my hope, that it would present the truth in an attractive way. And I mean, young people are not presented beauty, so that is my goal. I have some parting comments, so we're going to go to questions first, but please don't walk away before I give you some instructions for the rest of the night. Go ahead, sir.
Good evening. First of all, I'm with the 40 Days for Life South Bay in San Diego, and I must say I've been moved so significantly by that movie, and I would like to thank all of you for making that movie really a reality now. I have two things to bring up. First, I had this personal campaign to separate the word clinic from abortion, because a clinic is supposed to be a place of healing. And I wonder if we could be consistent about making sure we say abortion center instead of abortion clinic. But that's me. Okay, that's only me. My second thing is, I was alive when Humanae Vitae came out. And after serving 20 years in the military, I've come back to college, and I'm just appalled at the difference in attitude nowadays among our youth regarding sex. I would like to find out, is there a movement, or are you making sure somehow, or do you have a program to reach maybe the Newman centers, or even if there's no Newman centers in colleges and universities, this movie that you just released must be seen in our colleges and universities. Do you have any program leading towards that?
Well, okay, so that was going to be my parting comment. So I'll throw that out there right now. All right, what are we going to do with the movie? There is a several-step plan, and actually it would be really helpful if you guys sort of followed that plan. So what we've done is actually brought the DVD of the film is available tonight for you to take. It's for sale. It's not for sale anywhere else in the world. You can't go online and get it. It won't be available for sale at your retail store until probably November, December. But here's what we don't want you to do with it. Don't take it home and plug it into your DVD player and show 1,000 people, because that's not helping make movies like this. I don't know, if anybody's tried to do this, you go bankrupt making this sort of stuff, okay? So it's really helpful if we go the right way. So here's what we want you to do with the DVD. Take it home, show your priest, show your leaders, show your friends. I mean, use it for personal use if you got a little dinner party or whatever. Get the word out that way, but then please book a screening or go through the website, which was up probably right today, or at least by Monday. Check next week. Or you can go to convincedmovie.com, sign up for a screening, and that's sort of the first step. And as you book the screening, and we're able to get people like this possibly there to speak, or you pay the small fee, and you can actually do it for free. There's a way that you can book a screening for free, and we'll set it all up. As you book screenings, we'll get the word out that way. Book them at your Newman Center or wherever. We'll make it work. We'll book them at your local theater. For the next few weeks, few months, we'll do that. And then the DVD retail will come out, and you can buy them for Christmas for all of your friends and neighbors and all of that stuff. And after that, we'll do digital downloads and all the rest of it. So kind of a classic movie rollout, but it's, I sort of had to, I'm like, no, they can, please let me give them the DVD. Well, not give them. I'm going to sell them to you, $15. But take the DVD home. But I don't know. I'm sure none of you would do it, but there is sort of this thing where people like, oh, I'm going to take the DVD home and show it to 1 million people. As harsh as it is to say, that's actually detrimental to the work. So please take that home and purchase it. And buy 10, hand them out, but then please book a screening. So that's helpful. Okay, next question, please.
Just a desire to make
Can I
it.
respond to that other guy's comment? He did kind of raise a point about terminology. And I just want to endorse, number one, the fact that terminology is very important. And I think your instinct is correct to say abortion center, or sometimes people are saying abortuaries, because that doesn't sound very nice. But to call it a clinic does suggest health, and there's no point in doing that. That's us carrying water for the other side. So I endorse what I don't know what happened to that guy, but I agree with what you said, and I think we have to always be very conscious of our language.
I am from South America, and I would love it to have Spanish subtitles and to make it available for us to buy it there too.
Absolutely.
Just that. Thank you.
Yeah,
That's good.
So there's English subtitles available. Spanish subtitles are coming, again, essentially as soon as we have the money to make them. That's how it works, but yeah, they're coming. Go ahead.
Hello. I loved the movie. Made me really happy in many ways. One of the things I noticed was the woman whose face we never saw was so clearly suffering horribly, telling you these awful, embarrassing, shameful things that happened to her and that she participated in. It was really hard. But by the end, when she was talking about the good news, the church, and John Paul II, her voice changed. Her body language changed. She was excited and happy and a whole human being, and that's a wonderful thing to see. Thank you. But one of the things that's coming out to me is I'm a homeschooling mom with 8 children, and I've never been very good, my husband and I, neither of us, at sort of passing on the beautiful sexual teaching of the church. We sort of thought having 8 children would do it, but it doesn't. And I think this is a beautiful tool, and I'm going to buy one and show it to at least 8 people.
We'll allow it. If it's,
Thank you.
Your 8 family. Thank you. Oh, by the way, the reason people ask, like, well, don't we see her name? It's a pseudonym, of course. She actually has a book. It's a really good little short. It's an Amazon single that you should go purchase. It's like 99 cents. It's called Good Catholic Girl. And so, yeah, that's available on Amazon. That's why you don't see her face. The reason, it's not like she actually wanted to hide her story. She's anonymous because she thought it would really hurt her dad to see what happened in college. So that was kind of her, just to give you the motivation, like why we silhouette her. She wants to tell the story. She wrote a book about it, a little single, but she just thought, it's too hard on her dad. So that was the motivation.
So just to comment right on that, another of the great horrible myths and untruths about the sexual revolution is that sex is private. See, that's not really true. I mean, it's private in the sense that you do it in a private place, generally. But you're supposed to do it in a private place. But it has ripple effects. Your sexual behavior cascades out from the couple. And you especially see that with divorce. When the couple separates, it just goes all over the place. And so in this case, I didn't know this. I didn't know anything about this woman who did this program, who was interviewed there. But the shame that she felt, she wanted to bring shame to another family member. I don't know if any of you have been following the story about Cardinal McCarrick and the abuse victim, this man who's now 60 years old. His name, he calls himself, he's just James, anonymous. And part of the reason he's anonymous is he doesn't want to hurt his siblings, who have feelings about what all happened. So all of that commercialization and privatization of sex is all untrue, right? It's the most deeply social thing we do, in a sense, right? I mean, what happens between the man and the woman is building a little society, and when you start messing around with that and goof it up, the problems just multiply and go all over the place. So that lady, that little tidbit that you told us, yeah, that's a very important anecdote.
Hi, I'm from Houston, Texas, and you will be getting a call or an email saying we'll do a screening at one of my very large parishes in Houston, Texas. My number one question I'm going to get is, having seen the video, we have 4 daughters. My husband's over there, he helped. And my 12-year-old will not be viewing this video. But that's a parent's decision, but of course we like to give a guide. Our 15-year-old, our 18-year-old, that's something we would, probably show to them. Our 5-year-old, she's not gonna pay attention anyways. So as we try to bring this to the community, and I talk to our pastors and our youth ministers, as the creators and the people who can collaborate on this, what is the age range that you would suggest? Understanding everybody can make their own decision, but of course, what is your suggested age range?
As a dad of a 13 and a 15-year-old daughter, I don't think any of the content of Unprotected goes beyond or terribly more explicit than the Catechism of the Catholic Church. It's certainly less complicated to understand than a 9th grade chemistry textbook. Every child's different. Every parent sort of knows what level of sensitivity each of their children are going to have. If I had to say one age, I think 13, 14 is starting to turn the cusp. They're already thinking about the opposite sex. Maybe girls aren't icky after all. And they're kind of thinking about what a date might feel like. And I think the fact that so many of the presenters present such a balanced, clear way of thinking about love, sex, and marriage and commitment, and how contraception has been a disruptor and a destroyer of that through line, along with the fact that it's talked to people like Kristalina Everett, who's made terrible mistakes. Half my mistakes, none of my mistakes are in this movie. So I'm also a survivor in a way. And contraception certainly enabled my sexual sins, enabled me to get what I wanted without the natural consequences. So I think the fact that there are stories with which you can't disagree, and there are teachings that are awfully hard to ignore, even if on the first time you hear it, it might be a bit of cognitive dissonance. But to me, 13-ish, that's probably the sweet spot if I had to pick one number.
The other thing that I noticed in this, when you interviewed me, just so you guys so you know how this kind of thing goes, we talked about a lot of things, and I did not know what of our conversation was going to end up in there. So in a way, the divorce part doesn't look like it fits in with contraception. It does. It's all connected, of course, you know. But I wasn't ready for how that kind of all went down in the movie. But one thing for you to think about is that if you know families where there's been a divorce, I think that a lot of children will feel affirmed to see that, right? Yeah. Thank you. Go ahead. Let's clap for the children of divorce. Not me, knucklehead. No, because part of the trauma that the children experience is that nobody's listening to them, right? And they're supposed to be resilient. If they act out, if there's a problem, we take them to the doctor, we put them on meds, you know, all that kind of thing. So if you've got a family that is going through this might be a gentle way for the child to get some visibility, and then you can open up a conversation just on that topic. Again, though, I can't quite picture what age group would be quite right for it, but depending on the child, it could be even younger than what Patrick's saying, you know, so.
Yeah, some children are old souls, and some 17-year-olds are maybe too immature to kind of take it. I was thinking as you were talking about divorce as one of the fallouts of Descent from Humana Vitae, it seems to me that in light of the Cardinal McCarrick revelations, that it's the logic of the devil that the shame is taken on by the victim more than the perpetrator. Yeah. If you think about it, shamelessness is a function of shame. And so, you could do a sequel to Unprotected because you hit all the main ones, but there's so many other dominoes that have fallen in the wake of 1968. And divorce is it. I'm kind of anticipating what I'm going to be saying tomorrow at my talk just before Mass at the end. But we are talking about a divorce. Humana Vitae repairs the divorce between love and life in the marital union. The East-West divided the Eastern lung from the Western lung. The Reformation divorced Christ from the church. What did the Enlightenment do? It divorced reason from faith. And now we have all kinds of divorces. The divorce between mother and child through Roe v. Wade. And now the divorce between the very self with transgender confusion. All of it stems from getting away from the integrative, incarnational vision of the human person that the Catholic Church has been teaching since apostolic times. So that's a kind of a compressed version where we're going to go tomorrow. But it got me thinking about all this stuff now.
Tomorrow. You got it right now. Yeah. You want to add anything?
No, not to that point. No, I wanted to ask you a question because I don't understand quite how the screenings work. Okay. How do they work? You call a place and...
Yeah, you call. Well, you know what? There's a very easy to fill in form. Email me, and there'll be an even easier to use form on the website that our partner Ignatius Press. I want to give a shout out to Ignatius Press too, who very helped this along. And Eva, who's at the Ignatius table, was the first woman who called me and said, "You know, Don, I like your idea." She was one of the first people to know the idea, and she got me on a call with I didn't even know who was going to be on the call, and it was President Mark Brumley and Father Fezio. So go thank Eva at the Ignatius Press table and buy a bunch of their books because they helped us along. So between me and Ignatius Press, we are going to book parishes in the way that Ignatius Press is done. So you can pay a screening fee and get a bunch of bulk DVDs before they're retail, and then show the film, and then actually make some of your money back by selling the DVDs that we gave you for bulk.
How much does it usually cost to?
I'm not sure, actually.
You're not sure?
Yeah.
But, so you call your parish, or you call your high school, or you call somewhere?
Yeah,
And you
get-
say, we'd like to do
we'd
the
love-
screening?
So then, and we'll set it up. Now,
But first, we get permission from them? Or not?
it'd be helpful, sure, if you've got permission from that'd be a good idea, sure.
Yeah.
But we can also arrange it. There's also, listen, let me just throw out there's also this super easy thing that I used with my first film, Convinced. It's called tug.com. It's out of Austin, Texas, where you literally pick a local theater and pick a night during the week and say, I want to show Unprotected at that theater on this night, and all you have to do is sell enough tickets before, there's no money laid out, you sell enough tickets before the show's time and the movie goes on. If you don't sell enough tickets, all right, no problem. The show doesn't go on and nobody gets charged. And so that will also be available if you don't think, I don't know, my parish is not going to do this, or that I will walk you through that personally. It's very easy. So listen, it's an easy thing to do.
It's 2 G's?
2 G's, and it's also, there'll be a link at unprotectedmovie.com. You know what, I apologize. We've only got the building for a certain amount of time tonight. I want to make sure we have some face-to-face time out there. So let me put in a couple more plugs. First, the DVD is also there. My first film, Convinced, is also out there. You may have seen that on the circuit or wherever, but that's also available. Patrick's new book, The Contraception of Deception. Janet, where'd your book go? I brought it up with me. Okay, I'm sorry. Janet's new book.
Everybody's
is-
stealing my book.
Yeah, I literally had it in my hand. Anyway,
Patrick,
yeah, Patrick.
I'm just proud that I have my own mic now.
It's Why Humani Vitae
he
is
wanted his to be the
still-
only one up
Yeah,
here. I know what's
exactly.
going on.
I don't know what happened. Why Humani Vitae is Still Right is out there on the table as well, and a lot of information. Dr. Jennifer
And you
Roback
can
Morse.
order my book.
And I would tell you about the trip that Christopher wants you to go on, but he's not here, so you don't get to know about that. You'll have to know about that tomorrow. So please come say hi out at the tables. They're just out in the hall. Get your picture taken. Oh, you took it. There's the book right there. Get your picture taken on the red carpet. That's there for you. If you could do us a favor, and if you're on social media, use the hashtag #UnprotectedMovie, hashtag #UnprotectedMovie to get the word out. The red carpet's a lot of fun. Maybe take some pictures with some of the stars of the film right here. So thank you so much, everybody, for coming. Have a great night. We'll see you out there.